Have you ever lied, cheated, or stolen?
I stole 10 cents from my friend, and I lied to my mom, and I said I didn't.
I've never lied. I've lied, but I've never cheated.
From the age 13 to 16, I lied. I lied for no reason about anything, just to lie.
Oh gosh, I worked my way through college cheating. I'm in the business world. I have to lie sometimes. Stolen?
Have you ever wondered why some of our kids grow up to be honest, responsible, loving, while others lie, cheat, and steal? Well, how can we expect any of our kids to know the difference between right and wrong when so much of what they see around them is epidemic greed, dishonesty, and corruption?
I've never been to a prostitute. I have never been involved with wife swapping.
Never.
Get out of it, because he alone has told us. What's this deal?
Through the media, kids are exposed to a wider range of immorality than ever before. Growing up just isn't what it used to be. A survey in the 1940s revealed that the top 7 problems in public schools then were talking out of turn, chewing gum, making noise, running in the halls, cutting in line, violating the dress code, and littering. Today, the top 7 problems are drug abuse, alcohol abuse, pregnancy, suicide, rape, robbery, and assault. Confronted with these alarming problems, kids in every neighborhood throughout America need to learn the difference between right and wrong. But the questions are, who will teach values to our kids? And whose values will they teach? In this hour, you'll see some extreme examples of what can happen when kids grow up without conscience. But you'll also meet the contemporary pioneers who have discovered some new ways and rediscovered some old ways to teach our children everything from manners to morals. There are solutions, pockets of hope all across America where kids are learning genuine goodness. Do the kids you know lie, cheat, and steal? A recent study revealed that in the last year, 1/3 had lied to their best friend. 1/2 had stolen something. 3/4 had cheated. And that's just the day-to-day stuff. Since 1950, murder by teenagers has increased 232%. Over 2.5 million American teenagers will be arrested this year. Many will end up in a place like this, a juvenile prison. Who are these kids? Each kid's crime demands that we reconsider what we teach and don't teach all our children about the difference between right and wrong. Each young criminal has a different story to tell, a different tale of moral collapse. Mark is 19 years old. He grew up in an upper-middle-class home in Southern California. When he was 15, he murdered someone.
I got loaded one morning on acid, and I called up a guy to come sell his motorcycle, and I intended on giving him a forged check. When I didn't have any more checks left, I ended up pulling out a gun and shooting him for the motorcycle. At the time, I felt no remorse or empathy at all. I was more concerned about what to do with the body. I knew my little brother was going to be home pretty soon, and I didn't want him to have to be exposed to seeing a dead body in my patio, because that's where it happened. So I took the body and put him under my house. At the time I was doing the crime, it never occurred to me that I was actually committing a crime. It never seemed like it was really wrong. Society tells you what's right and what's wrong, and I mean, I can understand it to an extent, but if I feel something is right, then it's all right with me. And if I feel something's wrong, then it's wrong with me, whether you feel that way or anyone else feels that way.
Lamont has been in and out of trouble since he was 9 years old. For the past few years, he's been a dealer of cocaine. A lot of cocaine.
Some days, like on the first, probably make about $3,500 a day. Or on the 15th, probably make about $2,000. It depends on how my clientele is coming. If I would want to go take over another person's spot, sitting in somebody else's spot that wasn't there, I'd probably make about $4,000. I consider selling drugs is wrong, but when I knew I eventually got caught, and I was willing to accept responsibility for it, because I knew all the money that I was making for selling it. If I left right now, I probably would get back into selling drugs again, because it's the money value, okay? I like having a lot of money. I like doing what I want to do. I like wearing a lot of gold. I like having big old turkeys on my neck before I get all the attention from the female. I like having a beeper on my, I like taking a female to a hotel and with a jacuzzi in it, and just, having a different female with me all the time. I like that.
Crime is no longer an exclusively male club. Although 4 boys are arrested for every 1 girl, the number of offenses committed by teenage girls is on the rise in virtually every category. As a member of a violent gang, Nikki found herself committing horrifying crimes. She was only 13 years old when she was arrested.
This is the first time I've ever been in jail. I'm in for murder, kidnapping, and grand theft auto. What all happened to the victim was, as I can remember, was he was beaten up 3 times, knocked out 3 times. He was stabbed. I guess you could pretty much call it he was torture murdered. This went on for 3 days. The last day, at night, I don't remember what happened during the day, but at night I remember I woke up and we were driving up a mountain. I asked my girl I was with that, what are we doing? She said, we're gonna get rid of the body. So when we got up to the cliff, I helped pull them out and we pushed them over the side. I mean, the man was an innocent victim. He didn't do nothing to us. I hope maybe at least one day I'll find out why I really did it, why I really participated.
Whether it's a kid who's already in trouble and needs to be turned around, or an innocent child waiting for the world to show its heart, someone must teach them basic caring and decency. It's not safe to assume that our kids already know good values, when even the golden rule seems to have lapsed from our collective vocabulary.
The golden rule?
The golden rule pertaining to what?
To you.
To me, myself, enjoy life.
The golden rule. I think I'm caught. I don't know. Thou shalt not steal, eh? Always obey your parents.
Finish the sentence for me.
Oh.
Do unto others.
Whenever possible.
The golden rule is, he who has the gold makes the rules.
It's hard to believe, but according to a time management study, the average working parent now spends 30 seconds a day in meaningful conversation with their kids. 30 seconds beyond small talk. During that same day, children are in school for about 6 hours. It just makes sense for schools to help end moral illiteracy. Now, although polls show that most parents support the idea of schools teaching values, some parents fear that their kids will learn somebody else's beliefs. But a growing number of schools are finding new ways of teaching unprovocative, old-fashioned decency. Not religion, not politics, just basic goodness. Given an alternative, most people would not choose to raise their children in Chicago's inner city. But the Hawkins are one of several families who have actually moved back to the perilous Woodlawn district. They can afford to live elsewhere, but they're staying so their kids can go to the Alexander Dumas Elementary School. What's so special about one grade school in what's been called one of the worst public school systems in America? The answer is the extraordinary principal, Sylvia Peters, who has turned this place around in just 3 years. In that brief time, Mrs. Peters has been the architect of the Chicago miracle. She has demanded respect for and from her students, handpicked caring teachers, and brought in a program called Character Education, a specific curriculum that about 2% of our elementary schools are using nationwide. The goals of Character Education are to help kids build positive values, improve self-esteem, assume responsibility, and become better citizens. In schools using the program, Character Education has claimed victories in dramatically reducing both disciplinary problems and vandalism, and increasing test scores and attendance.
We knew that we could not change anything until we changed the attitudes. And a lot of people try to say, well, we're going to give children basic skills. Let's teach them to read and write and do all these kinds of things. It's extremely important. That's what schools really need to be doing. But you cannot do those things until you tell children and teach them, I am somebody. I'm worth something.
And we need a little working definition. Who can give me a definition for the word choice? Ebony, give me one.
Make your own decision.
So from what we learned, we have good choices and we have
bad choices.
And if we make a bad choice, then we have to do what?
Suffer the consequences.
Suffer the consequences. Like what?
And we get to miss library again.
Well, if I'm an adult and I do something bad, what could happen?
You could get fired.
Oh, fire. You gonna fire me? Don't fire me. Please don't fire me. Okay, so then that means I have to try and make a good teacher and a good choices, right?
Yes.
Okay, anybody else? Yes, Antoinette.
You work so hard, I think I'll give you a hug.
Oh, shucks, now. Thank you. All right, you're good. Give yourselves a hand.
The teachers care about the children and they love the children. They know that if you care for children and hug them, there's a lot of affection and warmth in this place, then the children will want to come here. And then once they get here with the warmth and affection, because we're a very huggy school, there are other things to keep them interested.
How many of you brought your t-shirts? Let me see them. Come on, let me see them. You're going to put I am. You're going to write that. And then you're going to start writing your characteristics all around it. And after you write your characteristics, then you may decorate your shirt any way you want, because you are an individual.
This is lovely, my goodness. You know what I love about it? It says, I am happy. I bet you don't know how many muscles it takes in order to be happy. Just takes 13 muscles in your face to smile. So remember that. Do you know what? It takes 39 muscles in your face to do this. To do what? Frown.
The students in this character education class are asked to use their own experiences to define the value of courage.
If someone offers you cocaine or drugs, only a courageous person will say no. Ask yourself this, am I brave enough to be a chicken or not?
You start out with very small examples of courage. And you go along the continuum until when they are in 8th grade, they themselves can practice great examples and small examples of courage. And they understand courage.
Jackie Robinson had a different kind of courage. Why was that courage for him?
Because he wanted to be a baseball player and all the people say he can't.
The people said he couldn't. Why couldn't he? Why did people say he couldn't?
Because he was a black man.
There was a lot of prejudice against Jackie Robinson, wasn't there?
Yes.
Okay, but he didn't give it up, did he? No.
We talk about Dr. King, Harriet Tubman. My children learned to sing Mozart because Mozart should be celebrated. They can look at a Van Gogh.
The Superman cape exercise calls for kids to write the qualities they admire about each other on one another's backs. These simple sheets of paper go a long way in boosting self-esteem.
Funny, kind, cool, sensible, smart, polite, unselfish, nice, and friendly.
Tanya?
Well, I feel kind of funny because I didn't know if it was writing.
It takes a lot of trust, doesn't it, to stand there and not know what they're writing on you. Keith, how did you feel?
I feel great.
We value our children. We show our children how to value themselves. We celebrate the things that they do that are good. And we don't tell them that they're wrong. We try not to criticize them. We try not to do the things to them that are occurring out in the neighborhood.
So prejudice is shown in a lot of ways, by talking about people, by making expressions. How many of you have other examples of prejudice? Tiffany?
Well, they call me Black, Choco.
Okay, now how did you feel, Tiffany, in that situation?
I felt like Shakita would have felt bad. Just like they don't like me because of the color of my skin. Like I'll go maybe paint myself and then they make me feel better.
Society has a rather grim view of inner city black children. They do feel that black children do not have the values of the dominant culture. And you know, I had to say, oh no, that's not so. Black family is very strong and alive. All we need to do is to bring out those things in our children in school.
If you agree with it is okay to be active sexually now in your life, remain where you are at. If you disagree with being active sexually now in your life, go to the other side of the continuum. No? Be strong. Be strong. Be strong. Okay. Anybody want to speak as to why you're at this end of the continuum, Jeffrey?
I think it's wrong because kids having kids that's stupid. And plus, how are you going to support the kids in school? Even if you do have a condom, what if it busts or go wrong and then you have a baby while you still a baby?
We do not see that our children are ever going to grow up and become adults. We think that they are going to be kindergarten children or sixth graders or whatever forever. And so my vision is that I see them coming from kindergarten, and I see my children 15 years from now as being productive citizens, and that's my main thrust.
Kids today face a completely different set of pressures than their parents did when they were growing up. Of kids who use drugs, the average age that experimentation begins is now 12 and a half. Even in the rustic tranquility of rural New York State, junior high students are faced with the decision of whether or not they will try drugs and alcohol. The Lansing Middle School near Ithaca is one of 12,000 schools worldwide using a program called Quest to teach skills that help keep students drug-free.
I'd like to take the first
Teacher Phyllis Smith Hansen starts every class with a few trust-building moments.
I'd like to take the first couple of minutes today to find out what's been going on since last time we met. So let's do a couple of rounds of comfort and caring. Any highs or lows going on in your life right now?
In December, my aunt's having a baby, and what's so exciting about it is that she's lost 2 babies already, and now she's going to have one in December, and I'm pretty sure she's going to have it.
Just recently in July, my father was one of his college roommates, and he had AIDS, and we knew for a long time that he was going to die, but it just went so fast.
That was so sudden. Did it make a difference to you that what your dad's college roommate died of?
Yeah.
How was that different for you?
Well, I mean, I knew he was going to die, so it wasn't as shocking as I thought it was going to be. And it wasn't like he died of old age or anything. It was sadder because he could have lived if he had been more careful.
I see. The Quest program focuses a lot on coping skills, ways of handling pain and fear and loneliness, healthy ways of facing it. And giving kids hopefully some positive ideas for life rather than getting drunk and getting stoned and trying to kill the pain in a lot of unhealthy ways.
When my grandfather died, I was really, really sad. And then I thought, why be sad when I could be happy with just thinking about him? Because he'll always be with me, because he'll be in my heart.
That's a terrific philosophy. Justin?
Role-playing is a primary technique Mrs. Smith-Hanson uses to teach good decision-making.
You are Ted. Ted, your best friend found a set of keys on the playground. He experimented and discovered that one of them was a master key to your school building. He asked you to come back with him at night and have some fun. You said you wouldn't, but this morning it was discovered that the school had been vandalized last night. You know who did it, your friend Robbie. What are you going to do? Okay, start when you're ready.
Robbie, you told me you were going to go over and bash the school. And I want to know, did you really go through with it? I mean, did you go over and bash it up? Yeah. Well, are you thinking or even, are you just thinking about facing up to it? No.
Role-playing is one of the favorite parts for the kids, and it serves many different purposes. It encourages them to take risks in expressing themselves in front of a group. That builds assertive skills, and I think that that's a very important part of helping our kids take a stand when they have hard decisions to make later on in a social setting.
It's just not right that the whole school gets penalized.
Well, you can tell if you want, but I'm not going to face up to it.
It's your last chance. I think our friendship's more important than this.
Well, no, I'm not going to do it.
Thank you, guys. You did a great job. Tell me some of the things you saw in what Justin said that were effective.
Well, he kept on trying. He kept on giving Jamie or Robbie chances to go and tell the principal and Mr. Chase what he did.
I think you should have just gone to the principal first, because then that would have settled all the problems. If I just went in and squawked on him right away and he would have truly faced up to it, that would be like just ruining everything.
Ruining what?
A friendship that I could have kept. We were real good friends.
How many of you would agree with what Justin's saying? That friendship is an important thing to give a person at least a chance. I love the fact that kids show their goodness in this program. I think they come in with goodness established in them. I tend to believe that kids are good. And what I'm doing is facilitating the expression of that goodness. I believe Quest could work anywhere. I think that if you find a teacher who's willing to put the energy into the program can work.
By the time students get to Northport High School on Long Island, New York, they've already spent years studying something that most kids think about only when they're in trouble: the law. The program is called Law-Related Education. It starts as early as kindergarten and continues with elective courses through the 12th grade. Law-related education takes the values that are basic to American justice, values such as equality, good citizenship, and fairness, and lets kids experience them firsthand.
I don't think you can get any more participation in a class than you do in this one. We have the mock trials, we're right there. We are the government, we assume the roles of the judges and the lawyers.
Students retry actual court cases involving all kinds of crime. A murder trial, for example, becomes an opportunity to develop empathy for real victims of crime.
Can you please describe the night that your mom died?
Well, it was about 9:30, and there was a shot fired through the window, and the next thing I knew, she was dead.
Did anybody call for help?
Well, my brother and I called the neighbors.
It's a positive form of peer pressure because in this class, you're doing it. The students are running the courtroom, the students are doing it. It's not a teacher demanding it. It's all coming right from your peers.
Isn't it true that on that particular day you did not take any notes pertaining to what Mr. Patterson said to you?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're learning values of fairness, hearing out someone else's argument, whether in a courtroom or just out in regular life. You're learning the difference between right and wrong by learning the laws, and the laws really are a pretty good example of what is right and wrong.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
They learn tolerance, and they learn to listen, and they learn to understand the other side. They may battle with it, and they may argue against it, but I think most of them recognize that there's a civil way and a peaceful way to deal with differences and different point of view. And law-related education allows that to occur.
Jurors, I would like to remind you that you're not to come to any conclusions concerning this matter. You're not to discuss it among yourselves nor with anyone else. You're not to visit the scene, area, or premises that are being described here. It's the basis of the whole American system. This is where we get our life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. This is where everything is tried, and you can bring anything to a law court that you feel is unfair. Probably I've learned more in this course than I have in any other high school course I've taken.
So far, about 250 school districts across the country are trying law-related education and have shown good results in helping to prevent juvenile lawbreaking. The United States Department of Education supports this program, and so do the kids. Only a few years ago, Theodore Roosevelt High School in the South Bronx was called the most dangerous school in New York. Today, it is the home of hope and an extraordinary experiment called the Just Community. Like law-related education, this program is based on justice and fairness. But that's where the similarities end. The Just Community is a school within a school where 200 students, alongside faculty advisors, govern themselves. About half are 9th and 10th graders who are at high risk of dropping out.
I get the impression that everybody doesn't understand the motion.
One way that kids learn values in the community is by determining the rules they will live by. When the rules are broken, the Fairness Committee meets to recommend disciplinary action. Today's issue centers around several students who have recently been caught sneaking out of community meetings.
How are we going to handle them? Are we going to deal with them on the individual basis or as a group?
They do tend to do it as a group, but maybe if you can get one or two out of that group, maybe the whole thing will just like fall apart.
But we can't force them into doing anything. You know, it's all, they have to do it willingly.
Luis is 15. Just a year ago, he was in constant trouble with the law.
I was coming to school maybe, 3 times a month. And then when I would come to school, I would cut a lot and hang out. It's obvious I wasn't doing any good in class. Just getting like 20 to 30 average in each class. My mother was on drugs, and seemed like she didn't really care what would happen to me, because like I would come home 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. On a school day, it wouldn't bother her. As far as she's concerned, I could have just walked right back out and come back the next day. Before, it would just, any little thing would just burn me up. I'll start breaking things, punching walls. Broken my knuckles a few times. And that's it. Now I look at things differently,
Mark them down, cut them, and take attendance. 3 cuts, do probation, or either just kick them out.
I don't think kicking them out or putting them on probation will just do anything. Some of them, they just need a friend, somebody to talk to, somebody who understands and is willing to help them.
By truly belonging to this community and participating in this democracy, Luis has changed. He has learned to respect others as well as himself.
See, like before, let's say a teacher would give me a bunch of homework, I would get that kind of feeling that I can't get it done, and I wouldn't even do it. I'd just push it to the side, forget about it, It's too hard, it's too much. But now I challenge them. Like, yeah, give me your best shot, I think I can take it. I just always have that sense that I can accomplish whatever I put my mind to.
Luis is not alone in his personal victory. Although only 200 students in this school of 3,000 belong to the Just Community, their spirit is contagious. For all of Theodore Roosevelt High School, grades and attendance are up, and suspensions are down 60%.
You destroy a whole world just for wealth and treasures?
I'd do anything for that.
Every year, children spend more time in front of their televisions than they do in their classrooms. They spend 2 hours a day just watching music videos. For some kids, these glowing images are their only heroes. Young people desperately need positive role models to admire, to set an example, to show them that it's good to be good. But there don't seem to be as many good guy images as there used to be, and parents are having to look a little harder to find worthwhile entertainment for their kids. The term parental guidance takes on new meaning at the Walt Disney Elementary School in San Ramon, California, where parents have found positive, value-rich films to share with their kids at family film night. This is just one small offshoot of a remarkable experiment called the Child Development Project, where parents and teachers are working together to fill every aspect of a child's day with character-building experiences.
How do you show how you feel without using words? That's exactly how you do it.
Be it a discussion of a worthwhile film or a first-grade lesson about foods, the emphasis is always on raising helpful, caring children.
How does Mrs. Korzik know that you and the person sitting next to you are partners? How do I know? You sit next to each other? You sit what? You work together. How
At the heart of the project is the way that kids learn. One of the basic techniques is cooperative learning, where the classroom is divided into small groups of students. Whatever the subject matter, cooperative learning gives kids an opportunity to learn to work together and to help each other.
Okay. Did you find something in the magazine that you wanted to put on the plate and you couldn't?
Yeah.
What?
I found some ice cream. He didn't like, I saw chocolate, and he didn't like chocolate ice cream.
Okay. Was there something that you wanted to put on the plate and you couldn't?
This, raisin cookie.
Raisin cookies are very good.
Well, I didn't like it.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Can you both still work together?
Yeah.
Can you both still be friends?
Yeah.
Well, you're not disagreeing about that? It doesn't make you angry?
No.
Why not?
Well, because we like to work together, and I wanted to work with Jeremy.
We emphasize 4 values: fairness, concern for others, responsibility, and helpfulness. We think those are values that are shared by virtually everybody in this society.
Boys and girls, today we're going to do a buddy activity called Helping Hands. Our social goal will be caring for others because we care about how we help each other, don't we? Our roles today will be
In the Buddies program, a whole class, say, of upper graders and a whole class of younger children come together regularly to do activities together. Each younger child gets an older buddy. This relationship is maintained throughout the year. The purpose of the Buddies program is to give older children a chance to be models for younger children, to care for younger children, and to give younger children somebody to look up to.
Okay, now we need to color these. You can color yours and color you want.
One of the things that's exciting to me personally about the program is that it provides children with direct experience of these values in action. It makes the classroom a more caring, intimate, helpful place to be for children. We think that's important. We think it's important not that children just be talked to about values, but that children get the chance to experience these values in action.
Raise your hand if one of your chores is to take out the garbage. Okay, we're going to find some other things that people have in common, and we're going to put them up here, and we're going to graph it. At home, you're going to take your family homework home, and you and your parents are going to read this, and then you're going to discuss what kind of chores you do at your house.
The Child Development Project encourages family involvement, stressing the importance of the parents' role in teaching their kids values. This family homework assignment focuses on responsibility.
Oh, what would happen if you didn't, one of your chores is to feed the birds?
They'd die.
Hey, I know a chore that we have just recently started changing, and it's not working very well.
I know what it is, too.
What is it?
It's, we each get our own plate and
Each get our own plate and silverware and water and napkin, and it doesn't work very well, does it?
No. But there's been no complaints since we changed it.
I think we should go back to how we had it before.
Yeah.
The school is supportive of the values that we're trying to teach our children, and that's important. They get it at school, they get it at home, their chances are better of becoming nice people.
The Child Development Project has been compiling extensive data for 6 years, comparing students who participated in the program versus a control group in the same school district. The results are exciting in 3 areas. First, the children in the project are more supportive, friendly, and helpful in their classroom. Secondly, kids have demonstrated much more consideration in resolving conflicts. And finally, they have a stronger commitment to democratic values, such as including everyone in a decision that will affect the group. There is every reason to believe that the Child Development Project is nurturing nicer children. This is not everybody's idea of high school, but for nearly 700 young men and women, the Culver Academies in Culver, Indiana, present an intensely disciplined high school experience.
Public high school wasn't really, I felt it boring, not very challenging, and so I'd make fun of the girls and make fun of my teacher and draw in class and just do my own business, really.
I really like the regimentation we have here. I just like to, when people look good, I like when people feel good, and I feel that when you're organized, you do better in life.
Nice shoes, guys. Brass on your belt. Bottom and top bunks need to be tightened.
Hard release! Make corrections where noted.
The bonds that you get between people in your barracks, they're just so tremendous. I feel like I have a million brothers here.
Absolutely everything at Culver, sports, social life, and academics, is run by one forthright standard, the Honor Code. The code is just 15 words and says, I will not lie, cheat, or steal, and I will discourage others from doing so. 15 words designed to shape a lifetime of honor for the young men and women of the Culver Military and Culver Girls Academies.
For those of you who don't know me, I'm Scott Hinshaw. I'm Unit Commander of Battery B and also Honor Rep. And we're here to talk to you about the Honor Code once again.
We're not trying to impose our own values on you because we all have our different values, but instead we're trying to inspire you to develop your own values.
When you cheat, there's no limit and there's no minimum because cheating is cheating. If you cheat on one answer, you're going to get the same punishment from the Honor Council or the Personnel Committee that you cheated on for the whole test.
Our case is first-classman Scott Smith of Company H, and Mr. O'Connell is going to explain the case to us.
Mr. Smith is in my unit, and one weekend his brother came up, and his brother's only 19, and he attempted to sign out on permit with his brother. And according to the rules, you're not allowed to go out on permit or drive in a car if the individual who you're going out with is not 21. Mr. Smith is an officer. He's a first-classman.
The Student Honor Council is the high court of the land at the Boys Military Academy. Any cadets accused of violating the Honor Code must appear before the council and be judged by their peers.
He's going to lose his rank. Article 4 of the honor system requires a cadet officer to turn in his rank when he's committed an honor offense, so that's enough. Plus disciplinary confinement, because we have to set the example. Even the best cadets in the Corps can commit honor offenses and have to pay the price.
Every student must attend values and leadership courses where ethics come out of the headlines and into the classroom.
Okay, Mike, why don't you tell us about Jim and Tammy Baker? Did they act correctly or incorrectly?
All right, our topic is Jim and Tam Baker. Jim Baker lost his PTL ministry in 1980 over charges of misspent funds, and he also had an affair with his secretary.
Is what he was involved in excellent in any way? Was there a pure or higher motive involved?
Our group decided no, and that it wasn't excellent because to be excellent, there must be some positive motives involved. And all of his motives came straight from his greed.
Although only 3% of Culver's cadets go on to a military career, wherever they go in life, they say they are armed with a sense of discipline, pride, and honor. A few years ago, the children of a middle-class community called San Marcos, California, had a serious problem. Of the 600 girls in the San Diego suburbs high school, there were over 140 pregnancies reported in 1 year, and most were 9th graders. Justifiably alarmed, the San Marcos Junior High began a 4-step all-out attack. They started sex education, emphasizing abstinence, study skills classes, a self-awareness course, and what seems to be a surprisingly effective program called How to Be Successful in Less Than 10 Minutes a Day. After just 2 years, the number of reported pregnancies dropped from 140 to fewer than 20. Credit is most often given to the Success Program's emphasis on all aspects of personal responsibility.
Okay, this morning we've been talking about resolving conflict, so I thought I'd share one with you, and I've asked Josh and Brent at this time to give us a little example of a conflict. So go ahead, guys, do it.
Hey, man, what's the problem? Why can't you just hit the ball right, okay?
Shut up, stupid. You're not so perfect yourself.
Hey, man, who you calling stupid?
I'll tell him.
You telling you're dead after school.
Let's think of some other ways that Josh could have resolved it after being pushed. Pat?
Josh could have just said, well, you know, that's no way to be treating a teammate if you're going to try and be a team player.
Okay.
It could have been like Josh's first time at playing baseball, and he could say, well, I don't have experience in this, and I need some help.
10 minutes a day doesn't seem like a lot of time to help build a child's character, but when you think of it as 30 hours a year, it adds up.
They're seeing the fact that they have to start to understand that the other person has rights, has feelings. They have to appreciate that, and then they have to move from the rights into the area of responsibilities. I think the one thing that I would like to have each student grasp as they leave junior high and head on into high school and their future is that I am responsible for myself. 15-3!
Yeah. Based on the overwhelmingly positive results of the San Marcos program, a juvenile rehabilitation facility in Campo, California is now trying to teach success to hardcore juvenile delinquents.
I was 9 years old when I first committed the first crime. I stole a car.
While I was robbing houses, it was exciting. Because, like, the thrill of doing it, you know?
I like to pick on people just because, you know, it's just kind of like a little kind of a person I am, you know, just like to push people's buttons, see how far they'll go, you know. See if they'll fight, see if they'll just get angry.
It is mine. It's man. Come on, ever since you came in.
And here.
Don't worry about
whoever wins.
Whoever wins out of it, man.
Bam, got stolen.
Got stolen.
Part of the Success program is designed to stop impulsive behavior. And probation officers believe that if these kids can learn personal responsibility today, it will greatly reduce the prison population tomorrow. When the Success program was tried at San Diego Juvenile Hall, the number of delinquency reports was reduced by over 50%. They are hoping for equally dramatic results here.
Okay, how about you? What would make you feel successful?
Education.
Education? What else? Anything else?
A good paying job.
A good paying job.
And having freedom.
And freedom, okay?
It's too early to tell if it's going to work here, but if it does, there may soon be fewer drug dealers, fewer thieves, and fewer killers.
Hang on to your papers, hang on to your clipboards. We'll be using them again.
All the pioneering programs we've shown have one thing in common. Someone had to take the first step. Right now, there's one person who can change the way kids learn values in your community. That person is you. In a moment, we'll give you an address to get more information about programs that may help the kids you know. Once you have the facts, why not contact your principal, superintendent, or Board of Education and see how you can work together to make our children as good as they can possibly be. We can all help shape the face of tomorrow.
As children of the world, we are learning every day, preparing for the future, which we hope will be okay.
To learn more about any of the programs we've featured, please write to Values, Box 1048, Santa Monica, California, 90406. To order a video cassette of this show, please call Pyramid Film and Video, toll free at 1-800-421-2304.